I'm so glad to be with you today in this way and to know that we're all gathered here one way or another. I am really honored to have just a couple of minutes to share with you a thought or two based on my own life about today's focus on the prayer and time in the Garden of Gethsemane with the disciples and Jesus' continual prayer. Of course, we know Jesus was actually always praying, it seems to me. I have a feeling that he prayed before he ever got on that donkey to ride on the Palm Sunday procession, and prayed afterward, I'm sure, as well, knowing that things were going to get dicey. And that's what continues to strike me about this, is that, Jesus shows us that there's a way always forward. There's always a way forward. And it got me thinking about a poem that we posted as a Lenten devotional recently that set up by Dale Madgen Baskerville. And it's a wonderful poem, one of my favorite poems of all time by Maya Angelou, the wonderful writer and poet and public theologian and every other kind of thing. And it's called Still I Rise. Now, I'm not going to read the whole poem, but I wanted to just say a couple of things about it because it does strike me. The last stanza of the poem, and she goes through all the various ways that why she's still I rise. She says, leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's gloriously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. And that came to me, very moved at the time by Dale's selection of it, but I also came to me when I was reading the text for today and noticing both the fact that, he didn't use the sword, he was always a person of prayer and so on, and of course in Gethsemane. And it suddenly dawned on me that I do think, like Maya Angelou, oftentimes for people, and certainly people who suffered lots more than I have in life, still I rise. And then it dawned on me, well, still I pray. And then I realized that's inseparable. I can't rise, you can't rise, we can't rise, in my view. I know I won't rise if I don't pray. And so it becomes a kind of almost like a tag team kind of situation. Trouble happens, I got to rise, so I pray. And then hopefully I remember sometimes I could just pray without having to have a bad time to worry about, and I could just be praying. So I try now to pray 3 or 4 times a day, and certainly one of those times is generally at noon, Monday through Friday, with Reverend Dwayne and others from the church. We're doing prayer call. And every time I finish a prayer time, whether it's my own personal one or whether it's with everybody in the group, I rise. I know I'm better. I know things are better. I know I'm going to make it. So I just wanted to stress the fact that, we're called now to rise to the occasion of this virus, this pandemic, and we're called to actually look out for each other as well as ourselves, so we don't go into church and we don't go this and we don't do that, and it's hard because of course people are losing money, all sorts of things are happening, as you know. But anyway, it's still something we have to do in order to not only survive, yes, but to thrive, to rise, to continually rise up to be the people God calls us to be as individuals in our community and in the larger world. So I invite you to remember to rise, to pray, to rise, to rise again, pray again, rise. It's all there with Jesus. We can do it. Jesus shows us how.